That's not a word. Now that it's weather, we're making soup. I mean, we're just making soup. We're making soup. Hi. Today we're gonna make soup. It's a canned soup because 1, 2, and 3 make up our ingredients. Plus a bit of water, some nice sourdough, and a few fresh ingredients. Kale, parsley, garlic, and an onion. It's basically a rivolata, or a Tuscan French soup. No, how can it be a Tuscan French soup? It's a Tuscan bread soup to dunk. We're going to get that onto some medium heat in this beautiful heavy cast iron pot. A lovely big slug of oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons. Now I don't know what it is, but I love salt with my onions when they go in. If you're a chef, you would say season everything as it goes in, especially if you're cooking a dish that's not going to reduce a whole lot. Now this is a super quick dinner for the whole family. Today I'm just cutting the garlic into little slithers, and I'm not going to wait for the onion to be totally golden and relaxed because I kind of want this garlic to crisp up. You don't want a burnt flavour, but you want that golden, crispy, browned garlic flavour. Remember Mum used to do it. She'd do onions, carrot, celery, garlic in the pan to be the start of a soup or bolognese or whatever she was doing. Smell the warmth happening in the air. Smell things starting to change form and release their flavour. Especially comforting at winter time. All right, well that's just started to soften, so I'm going to put the garlic in because like I said, I want it to start to chip up and crisp up. The next thing we're going to get ready is our cannellini beans. Please do not drain these down the sink in front of a vegan. That aquafaba or bean juice is the equivalent of a meringue to a vegan. It acts as an egg white. It's incredible. What can go in with our beans is some parsley. Quite often I will use curly parsley when I'm doing garlicky prawns and chilli. This type of parsley, this flat leaf parsley, it's a little bit more lemony and it's nicer in soup. Oh, this is when we can add a little bit of chilli flake in that hot oil before the wet things go in and tend to steam it. I would say about half a teaspoon. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Parsley goes in. Cannellini beans. Beans, garlic, chilli, parsley, onion. I promised you I would season here, so that's happening. Some kale. Now I've already taken the stems out of these. Give it a rinse. Prepping one of the most irritating vegetables to store. All right, kale is going in now. Okay, now I usually do pick up crushed tomatoes, but then I saw these beautiful San Marzanos at the shop and I couldn't resist. I'm going to need to crush these a little bit, which I'm going to do with my hands. Now, there is something so viscerally delicious about squishing tomatoes. Remove out any of those little end bits going into our soup. So we're going to turn that down just a little bit. Let everything get together. Obviously, that's not enough liquid to make it a soup. Couple of cans of water, which I'm going to use my tomato can. We're going to keep this vegetarian, but we are going to use a chicken stock powder. It's called chicken style powder, plant-based. We're going to use this to flavour our stock. 2 cans of water going in. Follow the directions or do as I do and wing it. We're going to let that simmer for a little bit, let all those ingredients come to terms with each other. And in the meantime, toast some fresh beautiful sourdough. Let's just call this end piece chef's treat for later. As thick or as thin as you'd like your bread. Oh my God, that sourdough is so fresh. It's actually sticking back together after you cut it. I forgot. Now, I do have some Parmesan here because I'm going to grate that onto my toasted bread when it comes out. Here's the best bit. I am going to cut the rind off my Parmesan. Save this bit for grating. This bit with the rind, I'm going to pop straight into my soup. That is only going to do magical things. It's going to add richness of the Parmesan. It's going to become a floppy, delicious mess. Simmer, simmer, simmer. Look at that, perfectly cooked. I like cold toast with lashings of butter when I am eating soup. You do you, I'm going to do me. soup is looking rich and thick. It's just beautiful. Best not to butter when people who judge are nearby. Now, I quite like the idea of putting one piece of toast in the bottom of each bowl and then one on top. And this is kind of where we get the Tuscan bread soup part from. Look at that Parmesan, look at that rind. Absolutely pathetic now. It's almost like a chunky hot salad, let's be honest. A little bit of Parmesan because why not? Winner, 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 dinner. And a little drizzle of oil. When in Tuscany bread soup or Rome, we go there. There you go. Canned soup for dinner. You're welcome. Always more than I can chew. I'm holding bread. I'm also scooping bread. Perfect winter night can of soup food. We're making soup. I mean, sorry everyone for being offensive.